Route 66, beginning in Chicago, Illinois, and terminating in Santa Monica, California, evokes iconic American images of small local businesses, urban and rural landscapes, roadside architecture, and the birth of a mobile nation and emerging economy. Travelers on Route 66 today experience this history as many of the motels, gas stations, parks, bridges, and roadbeds remain along this 2,400-mile stretch of roadway. Hedged by historic buildings and diverse cultural resources, Route 66 connects Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona, and personifies the historic changes that transform the lives of people, their communities, and the nation along the way. The National Register of Historic Places provides a more succinct definition of Route 66 and its heritage.
Route 66 embodies a complex, rich history that goes well beyond any chronicle of the road itself. An artery of transportation, an agent of social transformation, and a remnant of America's past, it stretches 2,400 miles across 2/3 of the continent. The highway winds from the shores of Lake Michigan, across the agricultural fields of Illinois, to the rolling hills of Missouri Ozarks, through the mining towns of Kansas, across Oklahoma where the woodlands of the east meet the open plains of the west, to the open ranch lands of Texas, the enchanted mesa lands of New Mexico and Arizona, to the Mojave Desert, and finally the metropolis of Los Angeles and the shores of the Pacific Ocean.
After the war, Americans were more mobile than ever. Thousands of soldiers, sailors, and airmen who received military training abandoned the winters of Chicago, New York City, and Boston for the barbecue culture of the Southwest and West. Again, for many, Route 66 facilitated their relocation. Route 66 also symbolized the renewed spirit of optimism that pervaded the country after economic catastrophe and global war. Often called the Main Street of America, it linked a remote and underpopulated region with two vital 20th century cities, Chicago and Los Angeles. Route 66 and many points of interest along the way were familiar landmarks by the time a new generation of post-war motorists hit the road in the 1960s. Because this road wound through so many small towns, quirky trading posts, motels, and kitsch attractions popped up along the way. The evolution of tourist-targeted facilities is well represented in the roadside architecture along Route 66. The popularity of the Mother Road, or the Main Street of America, grew after its certification in 1926 and experienced a tourist boom after the Depression and Dust Bowl migration west. Now it is experiencing a revival thanks to local and federal funding for improved roadways, historic landmark petitions, an influx of tourists looking for the real America away from the interstates, and nostalgia for the old motor courts, cafes, curio shops, and local museums of the 1940s to the 1960s. Route 66, the road on which the refugees, drifters, and icons of America's cultural past journeyed, is now the destination. Its contribution to the nation must be evaluated in the broader context of American social and cultural history. Like the early trails of the 19th century, Route 66 helped to spirit a second and perhaps more permanent mass relocation of Americans. The roadway passes through a cross-section of American scenes, from the sands and sunshine of Los Angeles, past the Grand Canyon and the Native American communities of the Southwest, to the urban streets of St. Louis and Chicago. Whether you are motivated by an interest in its history or simply want to experience firsthand the diversity of people and landscapes that line its path, Route 66 offers an unforgettable journey into America, then and now.
Get your kick